In this video, I'm going to give you an introduction to 2D and 3D trig. And it can come as a bit of an overwhelming section and a bit daunting, because typically you have triangles or circles or combinations of both where you've got a lot of letters, a lot of variables, and quite often not many numbers. The goal of what you're trying to work out seems like a massive expression that you're not even sure where to start. And so in this video, I'm going to give you a really nice, succinct way to approach all 2D and 3D trig questions. And so the first thing that you want to do is you want to just fill in all the missing angles. So before you look at what they're even asking you, just go around the shapes that you've got and fill in all the missing angles that you possibly can do. Then try and work out the common line. And so often you'll have something like this, where you've got one triangle touching another, and maybe they're ultimately asking you to work out PQ, but you notice it just is so wild to start working out how to get PQ. And so what I've set up here is typically it's best to start in the triangle that has more information. And let me just add something new to this made up question here, just to explain later. And so let's just say you had a little bit more going on like this, and you're wondering which triangle should I start in. If you need to work out PQ, that can be an indicator of where you're needing to end the process, because you need to end with working out PQ. So it might be wise to start with the other triangle. The other way you can work out which triangle to start with is just look at the triangle that has more information, which will typically be the one that also includes sides. And so I'm not going to do all the maths for this one, but just to say that I would probably start with this triangle, but my goal isn't necessarily to work out TS or QS or anything like that. My goal is to, throughout this section, work out the common line PS. So even though they are asking you to work out PQ, if you can discipline yourself to fill in all the angles and you make it your own personal goal to work out the line, the common line that joins the two shapes together, that will help you to get your final destination a lot easier. And so I would begin in this triangle. With this triangle, I'd work out PS. Then I would move over to PQ. I would have already filled in all of these missing angles. If I see that I'm working in a triangle that's 90 degrees, I go back to the good old days and I discipline myself to just do SOH CAH TOA. So I would do that in this triangle. How would I approach this triangle, or any time that it's not 90 degrees? It's usually sine rule, but it could be cos rule as well. It's no hard and fast, ironically, rule about it. But I would just quickly see, is there any possibility of having opposite pairs? Because then I would use sine rule. And if not, if you've got something like side, 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 or side, angle, side, then you might be heading more towards cos rule. So if it's 90, go SOH CAH TOA route. If it's not 90, sine rule or cos rule. And the last thing to say is just like this example, like this AB example here, rather than for this missing angle, rather than saying 180 minus X minus Y, get into the habit of saying 180 minus the other two angles, so X plus Y. It just makes it easier. If quite often when you're using the sine rule and you've maybe said sine this angle, so sine 180 minus X plus Y, it makes it easier to see, oh, that's in the second quadrant. So I look at where in the second quadrant sine is positive, so it just reduces to the angle. So it would just reduce to sine X plus Y. So if you can keep coming back to this framework for 2D and 3D shapes in trig, I think that you're going to have a wonderful experience with this section. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like it, subscribe to our channel, and share this with your friends. Thanks.